Well, that was an intense start to the Shibuya incident. Holy shit, what an incredible JJK episode this week, and absolutely did not disappoint after that long ass 3-week break. And we also got the new opening and ending for Shibuya, and man, if you weren't hyped for this arc already, I'm sure this opening is gonna force you to be hyped, especially with the incredible visuals and animation. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and finally we have the first episode of the critically acclaimed Shibuya incident arc at our hands, along with a visually breathtaking opening, so there is a lot to talk about this episode. So without wasting any more time, let's just get started. So before diving into this episode, I just have to mention the contrast between the first opening and the second opening for season 2, as well as the contrast between the first and second half of this episode. It's just so insane. Plus they actually managed to combine two very differently toned parts into one episode. But before the episode itself, I do want to talk about the new opening first, because damn, that was insane. I do have to say that I'm not really the biggest fan of this song so far, but goddamn, the visuals are fucking insane. Especially the color palette they chose for this opening. It straight up looks like a horror movie. Also, they really went all out with the spoilers in the opening, although thankfully most of what they did show doesn't spoil too much without the context aside from the fight scenes. The opening is just straight up hype and insanity, and honestly very fitting for the Shibuya incident, even though I don't personally like the song that. And now moving on to the episode. The episode was pretty much divided into two major parts, both very different in tone. The first part is about one of Itadori's former classmates who had a crush on him seeing Itadori again, and a very intense and shockingly well animated table tennis match between the biggest Giga Chad of JJK, Todo himself and Mei Mei. The story about Itadori's classmate, whose name is Yuko Ozawa, was very wholesome and bittersweet at the same time, and also shows just how much of a genuinely good person Yuji is. Her scenes with Nobara and Megumi were also very fun to watch, especially with all the exaggerated facial expressions and just how good the chemistry between our trio is. I mean, just look at this sequence of messages that Nobara sent to Yuji. After Nobara calls Yuji there to meet Ozawa, it was just so wholesome to see Yuji remember who she was, even though she looks completely different. Like she doesn't look anything alike. And we get a bit of backstory of when Yuji was in high school, and Ozawa's story eventually ends up with her not confessing to Itadori again. And it was also really sad to see her realize that the things other people thought about her were also things that she unconsciously thought about herself, which led to her low self-esteem issues and thinking that she had to not be fat just so she could have a chance with Itadori. But even though she doesn't manage to confess to Itadori in this episode, she does manage to give her number to Nobara in case she does decide to give it another go. We also see Todo and Mei Mei recommending the first and second years of Tokyo Jujutsu High to become first grade sorcerers, and this scene was also shown at the end of season 1 as well. Then we move on to the absolutely nuts tennis match. Like they really did not have to go this hard on a tennis match. And we also get to learn a bit about how sorcerers are approved for first grade here. And the scene where Todo realizes that he won't be able to partner with Yuji was just so damn funny. And now moving on to the second half of this episode, and probably the part most people are going to be talking about this week. And it straight up starts with Utahime and our trio being sent to find out who the traitor leaking information to the curses is. And to the people who might not have rewatched season 1, this might have come as a shock, but it was already revealed in season 1 by Gojo that there is a traitor in Jujutsu High, which I mentioned about it in my video about the 5 things you needed to remember before Shibuya incident. So make sure to watch that video for more things that you need to remember before Shibuya. Also, the video doesn't contain any spoilers for anime onlys whatsoever, so you're safe on that front. But now that I'm done plugging my video, let's come back to the episode. And after our trio meets up with Utahime, we find out that the traitor is most likely Mekamaru, and they go to where his real body is located, only to find out that his real body isn't there anymore. And then we see Mahito and Geto approach Mekamaru, or Kokishi, which is his real name. And it's revealed that the reason Mekamaru betrayed Jujutsu High is because Geto and Mahito made a pact with him that Mahito will use his idol transfiguration to fix Kokichi's body. And since it was a pact, Mahito has to restore his body, otherwise they will face the consequences of breaking the pact. So Mahito does end up restoring his body, and then we start the fight between him and Mahito. And we see that Mekamaru's plan is to manage to get to Gojo and tell him about Geto's Shibuya plan and ask Gojo to protect him. But that will not be easy, as Mahito and Geto are right in front of him, ready to kill him. And we pretty much only see the beginning of this fight, but it was still epic as hell to see Mekamaru appear in his giant mecha that he had been working on and has stored all of his cursed energy for years and can use all those years worth of cursed energy to operate the mecha. And the episode ends with him firing a massive blast towards Mahito. What an insane start to this arc, and such a great episode after the 3-week break. This episode pretty much had everything. Funny moments, meme faces, a romance plotline, the characters hanging out, a twist start to an insane fight. And everything surprisingly merged really well together. Needless to say, the animation was superb as usual, and the fact that they literally made a trailer for the movie Yuji was about to watch was nuts. Also, what the fuck was that plotline of that movie? Like, bruh. Nobara's reaction says it all. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this episode. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe for more Jujutsu Kaisen and anime content in general. With all that being said though, have a nice day and peace.